all my friends, when they got their first truck, it was like, how high can they lift it, and like how much mud can they get on it? Bro, I was like, how many 12s can I fit in the back?
How you doing today, Walker? Walker Hayes today, everybody.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm good, man. I just walked out of a write. Been writing a song today, so with my buddy Josh.
Oh shit! How was that going? You were just back in the shed. Is that where you were writing today?
No, I don't have that shed anymore. This was in his room at Smack.
Okay.
Smack Publishing. So yeah, that's a sacred time for me, man. That's something I don't get to do as much as I need to. Honestly, that is my comfort zone. You know, just hanging with friends, writing. So,
man, yeah.
Today it was good to be back there today.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you had a good one. I'm sorry that I hope you got everything out though that you needed.
Oh, we did, dude. We have plenty of time.
I was gonna say we could reschedule, man. I know what that's like. If you were in the middle of something and you came in here,
No, we had a wonderful write, and we were just shooting the breeze till this started. So thank you.
Thank you, man. So where is this at? The shack that you were at?
So I'm at Smack Publishing today.
I'm sorry. I'm getting everything all confused.
Oh, it's okay. No, I used to. A lot of people have heard about the famous shed. Right. That I used to write in, and I'm no longer there. It was like a tool shed right up the road on Music Row, and it was a special place, man. There were no windows, and literally when we opened it up and made it my writer's room, there was like a lawnmower and an old chair in there, like wall to wall, just kind of gardening tools and stuff. But a lot of good music came out of it, man. Now I'm at I do most of my recording just at my house. I have a little like room, like closet that I've turned into a studio.
Okay, I got you. So, and whereabouts? This is at your home then now, or where are you at right now?
Yeah, right now I'm at Smack Publishing, where I wrote with Josh.
Where you wrote with Josh? Yeah. And I'm sorry, where in the world is that though? Like, I know.
Oh, my bad, dude. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm in Nashville.
I
live in Nashville. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is. I'm on Music Row, but when I look this way, I can look through a window and I can see 17th Avenue.
Oh, beautiful.
And yeah, it's good stuff.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I love my times out in Nashville. Back when we were doing our self-titled record, I don't know you know much about my band, but we did a self-titled record and we had some help with some country stuff, and we had the Music Mafia guys, and John Rich became friends with them, and Cowboy Troy and stuff. So I'm very familiar with Broadway Street and Music Row down there. So.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. There's so many creative people here, and just kindred spirits. You know, everybody's got a notepad in their hand and wanting to create. So I love it.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. So I asked where that studio was because I did see that you started your first ever headlining tour last weekend. So I wasn't sure if this was just a good stop off on the way or.
Stuff. No, we came home. So, our tour, it might be a little different than yours. We typically leave every Wednesday and get back typically on Sunday or Monday.
Wow.
And so I usually have like Monday and Tuesday they're supposedly my days off, but they, I end up doing stuff that I need to do in town, like write and, catch up on some things. But yeah, man, we had an amazing weekend. It was a lot to take in, to tell you honestly. It just, I guess my career has blossomed at a very rapid rate, like this, just this past year. I mean, it's gone from 0 to 120. And so I still feel like, every show I get to, I'm I'm like, are these many people about to show up? Like, it's a Friday and there's nobody here now, but in an hour there will be 10,000, and man, it happens. And then I'm trying to sing the show, but I'm also processing that, I'm like, what in the world is going on right now? And, it truly is. It sounds, it's just a lot for my brain, to take in. But man, we had a successful weekend, and man, I was so grateful, and everybody that's involved. My show is much bigger. There's so many moving parts and people involved now, and everybody delivered and did their job way better than me. I mean, I was forgetting words. I was like, what song is next,
Oh,
and
man.
so I'm very grateful for my team, man. They crushed.
That's so rad. So you mentioned it was a little rusty for you. When was the last time you were out on stage before this past weekend?
We did fairs and festivals, which ended about a month ago. And then we had a ton of rehearsals. And in that 2 weeks of rehearsals, I had 2 corporate events, but those were not the new set. Those were the old set.
Okay.
And so that's old hat. I mean, I could do that in my sleep. And so the new one just started, and it's much longer and a lot of newer material. So I was definitely reading that teleprompter.
I was just going to ask. I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, the teleprompters are definitely necessary when you start doing those headlining sets of a couple hours and stuff. A lot of times people at home, I'm looking at you, don't understand how do you not know the words to your own songs? It's like, man, I got a lot of words. I got a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I'm also worrying about making sure everyone's having a good time.
I know.
Everything else is going on. Like, it has to become, and you could speak to this too. Like you just said, you can do the old set easily, right? Like almost in your sleep. It's that repetition has to become the norm, so that you eventually then you just get to turn it all off, and you have muscle memory.
Right. It's funny. It takes me a while, and it is muscle memory. You learn how long intros are. So you're like, okay, I have time right now. I can read that little girl's sign. I can sign this guy's hat. But like right now, I'm like, oh, I got to do everything I can. And then in my ears, I hear sing 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, wait, what? What song is it? Like what verse?
And then you got to look down. You got to look down and see, first of all, what the track title is, where you are in the set, and then the first line. It's not like you're reading it line for line, right? You usually get like the first sentence. You're like, all right, I know where I'm at.
Yeah. There were many songs where I just didn't sing the first line, and I was like, whatever.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's good that you wrote the songs that you did, though, Walker, because everyone can sing those first lines for you. I'm sure
they do. A couple of those they did help me out, and man, I don't know. I don't have any intention of even trying to pretend, for my crowd that I'm some like freaking entertaining phenom. I mean, I'm just a dad and a husband who writes songs, and so I think there's like kind of a kindredship that's growing like between me and my fans, where it's like, this is different. I'm not trying to be a superstar. I'm just trying to sing about life, like the real stuff, and if you relate, let's just sing along. It's not that serious. And so that kind of relieves me of some pressure. I think that's, my team has done a good job of saying, hey, just be you, and that's funny. Like there was one song this weekend, I got lost, and I made up something. And so the fans that knew it were like, oh, that's funny. You just, and then after the song, I was like, guys, it's a lot. I was like, I'm trying to wave, because it's funny. This is what's crazy, and I love this, but a lot of people come to my shows with their kids or with somebody that they've surprised with tickets. And I love this, but they they'll have their arm around that person and they'll be pointing to them like, and you know, I know you've experienced this where they're like, they get your attention and they're like, look at this girl, it's her birthday. Or like if you just give knuckles to this kid, his life will be made. And so you're like, oh, boom, thank you for the task. You're like, I will definitely do that.
Right.
But at the same time, you're in your ears, it's on Ableton. I mean, it's like you're supposed to be following this script, kind of. It's not a script, but
right.
But you got to get those things done. But yeah, I mean, by the third show this weekend, I felt confident enough to just relax. But the first show, man, I bet you, I don't even know if I smiled. My eyes were just like wide. I was just like, what is happening right now?
Headlights out there, huh?
It was, yeah. The first song I start in the crowd, and so I'm right-handed on the mic, and I'm high-fiving people left-handed, which feels funny. And people want to shake hands.
I'm sorry. I have to.
Yeah, do it.
I'm trying to think about that. I'm like, yeah,
you know,
you're always dominant hand on a high five. Okay.
Totally. So I need to learn how to do this, but for some reason, I just sing more naturally into my right hand. I don't know. It's things that people, I guess they would never, they'd be like, man, I didn't even know you think about that stuff. But yeah, like it's just, I don't know. And it all becomes, over time, as you know, it becomes second. You're like, man, I've got it memorized. I've got it all down. But we'll get there, man. And it's a bless. I mean, I think it's a blessing. I mean, I have work. I have work now that I don't, it's hard to say no to, I've just never had this much work. And so there's this like pull for me to always say yes. And cause I'm like, man, how long will I have this job, and all this work? And, but there's a part of me that's like, hey, you're going to have to say no, if you want to, nurture and take care of the things that really matter and the things that are eternal. You're going to have to pass up great opportunities, and that's hard for me because my wife and I mean, there were times where I would have given anything for one of these gigs a year. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, it's a learning. We're learning. I just feel like I literally wake up and learn all day. And then I wake up the next day and I'm like, maybe today will be easier because I learned so much, but then I just learned some more.
I mean, that's a good thing to have, though, man. I mean, if you're not learning, what are you doing here anymore?
Right.
So, I mean, you just touched upon so many things that I wanted to ask you about. It's so great the way that I think it's so cool how you are with your place in music. As you said, you're just a dad and a family man.
Oh, totally.
That's writing music and stuff. And I was really interested to have you on the show to kind of talk about your journey through country music. I mean,
yeah.
you had an early major label deal that fell through at one point. You had these 8 tracks, as we talked about at the top of the show, that you were making in the shed. They come to be songs that are on Boom and the latest record with that blew up with Fancy Like. I mean, you got
right.
all these things, and then you just touched upon something that I know. I'm so glad that you went to it before I even had a chance to ask you, is that workload that you're getting now after, as you said, this rise over the last year that you've had. And one of the things that I keyed in on you just talking about that is that family life. And there's that song you have, I believe, talking about your relationship with your father, and now you see setting down the briefcase on the latest record, and for the guitar and stuff that really. I mean, I got choked up. I'm not even gonna lie. I seriously got a little choked up listening to that song. I got one son, and I was thinking about that because it is a lot of workload, and you work so hard, especially in this industry or any entertainment industry,
right,
to get to a point, and then you have, what really matters, and it's like,
right.
where do you find this balance?
Right. Dude, I don't have it. I mean, I truly don't. I wrestle like that is I'm in the ring with that UFC fight every day. And it's funny because I like the last, like I look at my kids, man, and I just look them in the eye, and what I want to do is keep them off that hamster wheel that we all get on, like working for whatever it is. Just if affirmation is $1, if affirmation is a drink, if affirmation is food, if affirmation is popularity, fame, dreams come true, get off the wheel. I'm always looking at them and I'm like, it doesn't matter. You know, your identity is in the Lord, and that's it. And you know, you don't go chasing the dream. Like once you catch it, you're going to be a different human, or it's all going to be okay, or you're going to sleep better, because that's a lie. But literally while I'm saying that sentence to them, I'm picking up my guitar case and I'm headed out the door.
You just got a great idea for a song while you're teaching them something.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Right, it's funny. I look at my kids every day and I'm like, look at me. Like I still haven't filled that void with anything this world has to offer. You know what I mean? And yet I am still tempted. It's funny, the guy I wrote with today, his name is Josh Jenkins, and he is a writer on Fancy Like. And we were talking about how it's funny, the day we wrote Fancy Like, our hands were just outstretched, no tension, like just free to write a song, not trying to manicure our future at all, like a yard. Like we were just like, who are we that we get to write a song today, and that's my duty today as a man, you know. And man, once that song blew up, we both agreed that we could feel our grips tighten on that success and go, whoa, how do I make this stay here?
Yeah, how long can I hold on to this pull-up bar?
Right. And not even exactly. Even more, it was like, how do we do it again? You know, and now it's hard to write a song and go, let's just write the truth. Let's do what music was given to us to do. Let's go back and be 17 and not know anything and just write what's on our heart. And but man, I don't know, life's funny that way, you know. I think that's just you know, we were also talking about just people might disagree with this, but like I think we're all narcissists, and you know, when we grieve, we're like roly-polies. We're like, oh, me, I'm hurt.
Oh yeah.
And we're not, none of us are like looking at the other people. We're like, oh, I've been inflicted. And then when we get famous, or when something happens, we're like, hey, make sure this stays, you know, do this for me. I deserve this now that I've, you know. And it's funny, it's not the business's fault, but I will tell you, like, fame has a tendency to magnify those nasty parts of us, right. You know. And it's honestly, it's not the music's fault. It's not the world's response to me's fault. It's not Nashville's fault. It's just me. I'm just capable of being narcissistic. And if you know, praise God, I did get dropped in my 20s, you know. There is no telling what I would have done with that fame. I mean, I feel like I'm struggling now. I think then if I would have blown up, I would have been an absolute monster, you know. And so I think God was merciful to kind of postpone, you know, any fruit, you know, from my creativity, you know, that he let me borrow, you know, while I'm down here. I know I'm babbling, but yeah,
no, not at all, man. I'm just listening to you talk, man. I'm being completely honest, because it's so true. Everything you just said, I would only take one step further. I did, I did go through my 20s like that. You know, we did get a lot of popularity. My first VMA, I won. I was 20 years old, 21 years old. You know,
Wow.
and you know, I could attest to what you're talking about, man. That narcissism that a lot of people, I think, what is described as is the ego. And I don't know. I think you're a
Yeah.
football fan. I know it's probably more college from being in Alabama and stuff. We'll get into the
Yeah.
fun stuff here in a minute. But you know, like I just bring up football because guys like Aaron Rodgers in the world have talked about stripping the ego, using things like ayahuasca, and that is one way to do it, but I have found other ways to strip yourself of that ego. Things like you talked about even a minute ago, just getting yourself away from the rat race, whatever that is, really does strip that ego. I mean, having 6 kids and realizing that importance right there can help, certainly help. Going out, getting rid of this thing for a while can really help with that. You know,
Yes.
it's crazy, but like just going out there for, you know, taking yourself away for like a week, going on a camping trip with the family if you can, even little things like that, being out in nature, and just for me, I have used the hallucinogens to strip that ego, but I also recognize that there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can find,
Right.
you know, through therapy, through other things. I mean, I also use therapy. I also use going to the nature, like I just said. Like there's so
Yeah.
many different ways, but I think it is important for people like yourself, for people like me and others in the entertainment industry that have reached a certain level of success to first recognize what you just said, and then take the time to realize, like, we're just fucking lucky as shit.
I know.
It's not me, it's not you, it's everything. The stars just lined, and like, cause you and I both know we've ran into many people who are, I would consider, more talented than me, better at everything.
Completely. Yeah. I struggle with, I mean, I have so many friends, man, that just, they're legends, you know, in my mind, but they didn't go through that that needle yet, you know, and it's why, I mean, honestly, I can hardly look them in the eye knowing just the luck of the draw of my success. I mean, that, you know, just even the song that popped me. I mean, I've written 1,000 songs,
Mm-hmm.
and you listen to Briefcase, and you know, in my mind, you know, you put Briefcase next to Fancy Like, and it's like gold, and Fancy Like is just, it's like whatever, you know, that's cool. I mean, I like it a whole lot, and I have a lot of fun singing it. But if I just met you and you were like, man, will you play me something that might help me out in life today? I'm having a rough day and I can't explain it. I'd be like, man, listen to the song I wrote about my dad. I love him a lot, and this is special to me. But it's funny, you know, that you're right. You know, this business, it's a good reminder, man, just of how much we don't have control over. You know, we think we do, but there are
Especially in our
only
20s, to your point.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's and you can think, you can be like, oh, maybe I made that happen, but nah, you didn't. You know, there's more at work, and so yeah, it's an interesting business for sure.
Yeah, man, and I know you touched upon that too. Like, it's to me, it's the stars align. However, you know, a lot of people have different faiths and stuff like that go into it. I don't know how else to describe it because I don't have that same faith. I just know that I'm super fucking lucky because there are so many different things, and all you can do is try to not take it for granted. Or granted. I always say granted. It's like it's always like that weird thing, you know. You say. But yeah, anyways, you try not to take it for granted, because then you realize that there are so many other people out there that are trying to do the very thing that you get to do, like you spoke about. Today,
Right.
I'm going to work, in quotation marks. I'm going to go write songs with my friends. That's what work meant today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like and your struggle is, how do I get that narcissistic thought out of my head? How do I let go a little bit so I could get just the music to come out of me, you know, like that's, I mean, and that, don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying that at all, because I know what that's like. It's just when we're looking at this in a macro perspective of everything, it really just doesn't fucking matter. Like that's not it, you know. It's the family stuff. I mean, speaking of songs, like Fancy Like is such a fun song, by the way. Love the fucking song. Like,
thanks, man.
My wife and my kid were, I think it was last summer, whatever it was. She was playing it on the Echo.
That was the jam.
The Echo in the house while she was getting ready, they're making dinner together, especially during the pandemic and stuff, where it was like locked down. And she's like, I was teaching him to dance, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was teaching my son your dance, I guess.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. So beautiful, fun song, as you said. So great, so freeing. I love songs like that, especially in your genre of music. But another one that as we're talking about realness and everything that I really gravitated towards was the Craig song, the song about the guy that hooked you up with the van and stuff. And
with the van,
at first you could listen to that just on face value and be like, oh, he's just, that's a cute story. But it's like, no, when I'm listening to those lyrics, I could tell that really happened. That wasn't just like a story. That was something. So maybe you could talk to me a little bit about that, because like, where were you in your life, going a little deeper than even the song says?
Oh yeah, bro. That I don't know how to describe it. Like, that's somewhat of a cornerstone of just kind of where we are right now, is that song. I mean, I wrote that song about 6 years ago, and when I met Craig, the song's called Craig for everybody, out there, but I met Craig at this church. I despise church. I was like, I hate church. I hate people that go to church. I mean, this sounds terrible, but I'm just being honest with everybody. I was like, I don't want anywhere near that. It was my wife and my biggest argument, because she was a believer, I was not. And Craig's wife, Laura, invited us to this church. And honestly, I thought we were past that phase of like church testing. And I was excited that we were. Like, my wife hadn't tried to take us and visit a church for a while. But, man, we tried this church out, and it was terrible. I mean, it was crazy. It was out in the woods. There was literally like 30 people there. It was the weirdest. It felt like a cult driving up. I was like, dude, we need to call somebody before we get kidnapped. And we walked into this church, and Craig was the first guy to shake my hand. He said, man, I'm glad you're here. And I mean, I couldn't stand the place. I stood. I was hammered. I was an alcoholic at the time. I was working at Costco from about 4 a.m. to 11. I had no reason for anyone to associate with me, and I was fine with it. I mean, I did not, I had been in Nashville 12 years, so about 1,000 people had come up to me and said, hey, bro, what do you do? And I'd be like, man, I'm a songwriter. And then they'd say, well, what have you written that I know? And I was like, nothing. And you could see them deflate and be like, oh, you're an aspiring writer, and I'd be like, well, whatever you want to call it, F off, and, but man, Craig shook my hand. He said, bro, I'm glad you're here. But it was weird, man. It's like, he knew I hated everything that he believed. He knew I was hammered. He just knew I thought it was all a crock. He knew how just dark of a place we were in, but he was drawn nearer to me, which really baffled me, because, most people, I mean, look, I'm at a phase of my life then where I'm working in Costco, and there are music business execs that shop there that would face me and be like, oh, I used to be on your label, and now you're stocking my strawberries, and you're, and it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed.
Would they
them.
I'm sorry to interrupt the story here, because it's
a
good one, but I just have to ask. When you're describing that part of it, did they recognize you and you recognize them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny, this is a one defining moment. One night I was playing a show in Puckett's, and this kid wanted my autograph, and I started talking to him, and he was like, man, I work at Costco in the tire department, and I asked him for a job. I mean, I didn't have any money. And so, I was trying to feed my kids. So, I was embarrassed. Like, here was this kid who was like, I want to be you. And I was like, well, I'll give you my autograph, but will you put in a good word for me at Costco? Because I need some night work, So I was at a very just low place, and, still writing, still doing my thing, but I was trying to feed my family because music wasn't doing it. And, but man, like I said, Craig came near to me, like literally just, he was drawn to the broken, you know, and they fed us. They opened their home to me. You know, they came to our house, which was not like, you were not climbing any ladder by coming to my house. Like our house was nasty. It had holes in the sheetrock from baseballs. There were kids everywhere. It's literally like a nasty Chuck E. Cheese at my house. And, you know, they entered the mess and they did life with us. And then one day, Craig knew that we were driving. I had known him about 4 years, but he knew that we just had one car. And Lainey and I, when we had our sixth kid, it was crazy, man. We just had this Honda, but everywhere we went, it was dangerous and illegal. You know, like we didn't have enough seatbelts, and like a cop would come by, and everybody would dive down in the floorboard to hide because, like, I didn't know what else to do. I mean, I couldn't pay for a car. And
how long ago was this, real quick, just to paint the picture for people listening at home?
This was probably like 7 years ago.
Okay.
And so Craig, you know, he shows up in my son's baseball game, and he gets out of his own minivan, and he has the keys and the title, and he's like, bro, I just want y'all to have this. You know, all you gotta do is sign. I've already figured out the paperwork. And man, I was indignant. I was like, hell no. I was like, I am not Mr. Handout. There ain't no way I'm taking your charity. I'm not a project. I don't want your help. And then he said something, man. It literally changed my life. It's the greatest thing anybody's ever said to me. You know, he said, man, somebody did this for me once. Just let me do this for you. And I know it sounds simple as all get out, but here's a man who I trust, which, you know, as a man, I don't trust everybody. You know, I don't. I struggle with trust. And, but I trust Craig. And here he is saying, look, bro, I've needed help before. It's okay if you need help. It's okay if you accept help. And man, my heart just, it's soft. Like something changed. And, I could never thank him. I suck at, just guy to guy. I'm really better at it now, but I don't know, dude. I got 4 brothers, and I don't know if I've ever looked them in the freaking face and said, bro, I love you. No, I love you. I appreciate, you know, and I definitely didn't really do that enough with my dad. It was always like joking or, you know, he would make fun of me, and that was his way of saying I love you. You know, he'd be like, you need a haircut. And I'd be like, I know, Dad, you love me, you know, but I didn't know how to say thank you. So, man, you know, as an artist, you know, you pick up a notepad and you just start letting it out. And that's what happened with that song, Craig. And what's funny is, man, I wrote that song and I wouldn't even put the name Jesus in it. I was like, man, I ain't no way I'm not even going to give a God the satisfaction of writing his name down. And, you know, little did I know, man, now when I sing that song, Craig, I just want to share the love of Jesus so bad. And if there's anybody, you know, I also say this every night when I sing it, man. You can hear my confusion in the song. I go, man, Craig can't walk on water, but I swear he might know somebody who did, you know, and that's what was going on in my heart. And obviously I'm looking at this guy going, what does he have? Like, what's he got that I don't? And the only thing I could come up with was Jesus, you know? And, look, Craig's not perfect, and neither am I. But, now that is my goal, is to somehow, you know, get out of my own way and let that message sink in. So I'm just so grateful you brought that song up, because it's the most important one I sing every night. It's the reason I get on a bus is to share that message.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't have the same, beliefs and everything like that, but
yeah,
it doesn't mean we can't get along and can't understand where you're coming from on that. I mean, just as you talked about, just the idea of someone being there for you at a time, and you, I could understand not wanting to hand out all these things that you describe in the song. I mean, and 7 years ago now, I got to imagine, if it hasn't happened for you yet, I'm sure you're going to be able to do that for somebody else and maybe say the same thing. I mean, have you had that opportunity yet, or is that something you think about? I mean, dude, even just thinking about it's a good thing. Don't let anybody tell you different, but
Yeah, no, I pray for opportunities continually, and we have a Be a Craig fund where we collect and then give. Kind of provide people with vehicles, something tangible. But yeah, man, it's just, we've just had the most interesting journey. Lainey and I lost a child that with Craig, like we had our seventh child was a stillborn.
Oh,
and
sorry,
man, it's interesting. I swear, man, I don't know about you, but like life is funny, man. Success and tragedy, they both, to me, they feel equal. Like, it's so interesting to me, all the success, it doesn't fill me up, As a matter of fact, it makes my stomach growl, like
it's more stress.
I moan.
Yeah, it said in the 90s, more money, more problems, man. It's Dude
was right. BIG, yeah. but yeah, man, it's been an interesting thing and a phase for us. But yeah, Craig and I, we're actually next door neighbors now. Oh. And it's funny, we wrote a book together, and that was just,
you wrote a book together. What's that book about? Wait a minute, that's
the book. Yeah, the book is called Glad You're Here, and it talks about our friendship and just kind of complete opposites, strangers becoming neighbors, and kind of just what the Lord did with two broken, just lame guys, and it was pretty fancy. Like, I mean, like we started that book over COVID, just not with any intent, not with no business intention. Like, hey, let's build a business or anything. We just wrote songs together, but that book, man, that's what I want to share. That's it's called Glad You're Here. And
everyone could go check it out. Where can everyone? I'll just plug it right here on the show. Maybe someone watching here or listening right now, could use that book. Is it available on like Audible or anything like that as well, or just? Oh
yeah, it's Audible. It's Audible. It's everything. It's just called Glad You're Here.
I'm more of a listener. That's why I got into podcasting.
Oh yeah,
like I'm more. Yeah. I just learned this about myself. Reasons why I didn't do very well in school the whole time.
Yeah.
I have to read the same fucking sentence or paragraph over and over to retain it. But if I listen to it once, I got it. It's crazy.
Dude, I didn't do well in school because school sucks.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said it because fuck school.
It's funny. It's so funny. Like our kids are homeschooled and they're all different. But sadly, man, some of them got the me and them that just I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't be still for 7 hours.
I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why it's tough. I mean, it's just I just get and this isn't everything in life, just not in school. Like I get this whole thing where everything in our society and maybe not everything, but most things in our society is painted with such a broad picture that everyone is the same, yet still continues to tell you you're different. And I'm like, wait a minute, like my brain, my perceptions, everything are more unique than even my fingerprint. And that's
right.
Crazy to say, right? But that's true. It's true. Everyone's brain is completely unique down to everything, down to its, genetic level. Everything about you is completely unique. Yet we're going to put everything, how you learn, how you do things, everything into this. we're just going to be, oh yeah, this is the way it's got to be, or the way we prescribe how you're sick mentally or even physically. Sometimes it's like,
right.
We're all so fucking different, and like those little things do matter. I know that we're all one species, but like at the same time, those little things matter sometimes.
Yeah, dude, I agree. My wife and I were completely different. Like, she was really great at school, but she was one of those people that fed off that institution of affirmation. Like, she wanted to make a teacher happy. I didn't immediately respect the teacher just because I was supposed to, you know. And it is really weird, like you just said, how we get lumped. And I fight, honestly, I fight with that, with my, you know, my newfound faith. Like, I can't sit through a church service. Like, there's nothing in me that will excel or get served by a, you know, 30-minute keynote speech, singing 3 worship songs that I've sung every Sunday for, you know, it's this appointment. Also the attire. I'm like, man, I just feel funny in these clothes, you know, like, and so, you know, you're exactly right. It's funny how we're still continually like hurted, but not everybody wins in all those situations. Right. And it's okay. Like, that's what I try to tell my kids is I'm like, look, if you can't see math from a 30,000 foot view, you just weren't given that lens.
So let's work at finding what you are fucking good at, or what you're interested in doing, and first of all, you have to find the interest in it. That's the other thing. Like, everyone's like, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're going to do anything with it. Right. You got to find the interest in it. You follow that interest, and through that, you start to learn how to do something more. It's not like when you picked up the guitar the first time, you fucking knew how to play. You know, it's like I was interested in learning how to play the bass, so I sat there in rooms by myself through my teenage years learning how to play the bass. Like, it didn't come natural to me, you know, like that was something that you had to work at. But because I had the interest in it and my family nurtured it a little bit, it ended up working out for me, right? You know, so I feel like, and that's just one example, right? But there's so many others that you can use that with.
Yeah, no, I have a son that I think a lot of teachers would be like, oh, this guy is lazy. And I'm like, you know, he just doesn't care. Like, he is, you know, my wife excelled in school because what makes her not lazy is she wants to please somebody, you know? And, you know, I don't know, did you play sports growing up?
I did, yeah.
Like, if I had a coach that I saw as a really valuable father figure, I did everything I could to make that guy happy. Mm-hmm. But if I had a coach that I did not respect, you know, I just didn't care. I just was like, I don't want to perform for you. That doesn't matter to me. And you hit the nail on the head. Like, if you can help someone find a passion, you don't got to do anything for them ever again. Like, you know, like my daughter loves to dance. I guarantee you in a couple weeks, she'll be on stage with me dancing. And it's not because I'm sitting here going, hey, Leela, I'd love for you to be up there with me. She's just already going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And I love that about each of my kids when I notice, like, they don't care. They're going, like, dude's going to stay up all night drawing that picture because he's just friggin' obsessed with drawing. And I'm like, bam, That's awesome. Got him something, you know?
I'm glad we came back to your kids real quick because there was something I wanted to ask. What's the age range of your kids? You got 6 of them. I mean,
yeah. So my
I've got oldest, one. Hey, we ain't comparing here today.
No, you look, you give everything you got to however many you got. I remember having one. So, but my oldest is 16 and my youngest is 7.
Wow.
And we have 6 total. So we got a 16-year-old girl and then a 15, 13, and 11-year-old boys.
Okay.
And then a 9 and a 7-year-old girl. So yeah,
that's a good mix.
It's yeah, dude, it's crazy. I love the, you know, I probably would love any order we had, but I like the boys being there together. My first daughter is she's been so helpful. I mean, she's she's emotionally, I think she is, I'm not like, she just is, she's emotionally mature. She's a good hang. And I think that's because she's seen it all. You know, I mean, she's seen us grind, you know, in this business, struggle, succeed a little bit, hurt, succeed a little bit. You know, she's just seen all corners of life on the front row, and so she's very helpful, just helpful to be around.
Man, yeah, I mean, at 16, I mean, I'm trying to do the math of your story a little bit. She's seen you in some pretty dark times.
Oh yeah,
too, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was like 9. You know, when the you know, I'm 7 years sober, so she was 9. You know, 5 when she was about 5 to 9. Man, she saw it all, and but yeah, I mean, she's seen redemption. She, like I said, she's seen hurt. You know, she's seen the brevity of life. She's seen how much being famous doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, she's also seen like a dance bring happiness to the world like we could never imagine. You know,
is she one of the ones you're doing some of those dances on TikTok with?
Yeah. She's the main one. Honestly, that's just something we did to bond. Oh, you know, over COVID, I tried to kind of locate something that each of my kids were interested in. And even if I wasn't, I just dove in. Right. You know, I was like, let's go. I got into anime, you know, with my son Chapel. Like,
that's a tough one, man. I remember when I was a kid, I tried to watch a little of that even when I was getting high with my friends, and I was just like, that was tough to get into, man.
Dude, I'm up to my neck in Demon Slayer and Naruto, and
I got a couple of nephews that are like that. I was gonna say I do have nephews and nieces. My oldest brother has 6 kids as well, so they age from the range of 23 now to 3. So
wow, yeah.
So sorry to digress there, but
no. I just dive in. I'm like, you know, I want to see, you know, what they're into, but yeah, man. I mean, we have a fun dynamic, and they travel. They get on the bus, you know, every Wednesday. They all go out, and
every time you take them out on the road with them, the whole clan.
Oh yeah. They go. They're homeschooled, and we got a bus, and we got 2 dogs, so it's 6 kids, and we have a golden doodle and a cavapoo. So not the manliest dogs you've ever.
Well, no, I mean, I got a golden retriever I love. He's about to turn 15, so he's an old guy, but he's still happy. And then we have cool. We have our little Yorkshire Terrier as well. So
nice.
You know, I got
a little both.
Yeah, well,
very similar.
Yeah. You know how that is. You gotta have a little bit of both there.
Right. But yeah, man, we do the road, man. We pack it up, and you know, our schedule's crazy, and they, you know, my son, one of my sons is a freakish drummer. Just, I mean, I try to go groove to groove with him, but I can't. We play like horse with grooves, and he
playing horse on the drums. That's a fun fucking game. I like that.
He crushes me. I mean, he is so amazing. He's 13, and then the 11-year-old one, he's an athlete, kind of a brute. And then, but yeah, man, it's a fun household. Last night we actually went to dinner because my 9-year-old's stuffed animal turned 3. She has a stuffed worm named Shoosh, and we celebrated Shoosh's 3rd birthday. Look, dude, I have no idea. I just went along with it and was like,
hey, man, a reason to go out with your family and have some dinner is a beautiful thing. And Shush, I mean, what a great name. I mean, I know. Me as a wrestling fan, I'm thinking of Gable like going out there and shushing everybody. I don't know if you guys got wrestling in the house at this point, but you know.
Well, I wrestle with the boys, and I made them watch some old wrestling stuff like.
What was your favorite?
Undertaker was my jam, and I also liked Ultimate I liked him, but yeah, man, I I love some wrestling, man.
Oh, awesome! Oh, yeah, grow up with it, all the stuff. So
Yeah.
you mentioned you were in sports too as a kid. What sports? You seem like you're still pretty athletic and stuff. Just looking at you.
I loved basketball. I mean, as a kid, I thought I was going to go pro. You know, when I was one of those kids, I believed it wholeheartedly, and then in college, I was like, oh, maybe not. You know, and I tried. I did a little, like I had a short baseball phase in college, but man, I love any sport. All my kids, if we get invited to a baseball game or a football game, we're the first to get there and the last to leave. I mean, we love it. So yeah.
And so that brings me up to your hat, obviously, Y'all Life.
Oh yeah,
single out right now.
Yes, sir.
And it's that song. Kind of about like that small town football vibe, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you grew up in near Mobile. Alabama.
Mobile.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm sure you're a Red Tide guy.
Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's
even
hilarious.
I can't even do it, man.
Red Tide.
Red Tide. Crimson. I don't know.
I love that.
I'm not the biggest college football fan. But I understand why you would be, especially like when I've traveled through the Midwest and all these places. You don't have a professional team around. That is your pro team, right? Is that Alabama team? And there's no better college team to be rooting for. It's like the Yankees of
right
the
now
college football.
I know.
Right?
Yes, every we have a target on our back. I'm almost like, yeah, I'm a Bama fan, you know, because everybody hates us right now. But you know, it's good. It's good to be hated. But yeah, down in Bama, man, it's either Auburn or Bama, one or the other. And you know, man, you know when you're born, you know, your parents, they tell you what you're going to be, and that's about it. Like I don't remember.
I'm sure the onesie comes on before you could even talk about it.
It does. Yeah, I see a lot of actually, it's funny you say that. So many of my baby pictures, Bear Bryant was the coach, and I had a shirt that said, "Hold on, Bear, I'm coming," and then like it's in all of my, you know, albums. I'm like, do you ever change my clothes? But yeah, that's
well,
it.
You had three. Would you have 3 or 4 other brothers? I'm sorry, you said earlier.
I have 4. Yeah,
you have 4 other brothers.
brothers.
I mean, you got the hand-me-downs going back and forth.
Yeah,
you got 6 now. You know how that goes.
I know. Yeah. First kid gets all the coolest clothes.
Right. But I go into the sports though too. You know, again, we go back to Y'all Life. Great song. It seems like I heard someone saying that it's going to be the college football theme for the season coming up here. So, or that we're actually
yeah. You know, it's very useful, like for the SEC and stuff like that. One cool thing we have I love this about my music is like songs like that. I can do some collabs, you know, with other genres. And Ciara, I met Ciara at the Dick Clark New Year's thing last year.
Oh.
And man, she was so nice, and we just hit it off. She liked, I think I sang AA, and she was like, that's a vibe.
By the way, that is such a, I don't mean to cut you off on that story, but that is such a good song. I was listening to that when I was driving in Arizona last week, and just me and the wife, and I'm actually on the wagon just for a little bit. I'm just taking some time off. I got a non-alcoholic beer right here, and I was like,
nice.
Trying to stay at a AA just one day at a time. I was like, and I know the program a little bit, and I was like, that's a good line right there, you know.
Thanks, man. Yeah, true story. But yeah, me and Ciara hit it off, and so we're putting out a version where she kind of came in and did her own second verse. But dude, speaking of non-alcoholic beers, have you had Bud Zero?
I haven't had the Bud Zero yet. Is it good?
Give it a shot. Oh, it's legit.
I've had the Heineken and the Stella are both really good. Those zeros are good.
Yeah.
And then I got this one from, have you heard of I don't know if it's out there yet. It's California thing, Athletic Brew Company.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I saw them on Instagram.
Yeah. They're blowing up right now because I think they have an IPA. That's not what this one is, a golden right now.
Right.
But they have an IPA that I literally ordered at a bar one time, and I I had to ask the bartender if it was truly non-alcoholic.
Wow,
it was
that good. Yeah. Well, I talked to but the frustrating thing to me is I just want one everywhere, and it's like, you go to so many restaurants and they're like, we don't have a non-alcoholic beer,
Man,
and
I'll take a Coke then.
yeah, but yeah, it's like I'm a really big fan of Bud Zero. I'm trying to work something with it, but yeah, give Bud Zero a shot. It's really solid.
You're trying to work something with them. I like where your head's. You're obviously really good at marketing. You've been doing all this yourself now for quite some time, Walker. So I like how you said that under your breath there for a second, like I wasn't going to pick up on it.
Well, no, ever since the Applebee's thing, I was like, why shouldn't Bud Zero be in every Applebee? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why you literally can't find a non-alcoholic beer? I'm like, everybody wants one now, so make it available.
It's kind of crazy how popular they've gotten. I mean, I think it's partly because a lot of people were overdoing it during the pandemic, during the lockdown and stuff, and then now they're like, well, I still like the taste of a beer, but it's kind of I'm at lunch right now. I probably shouldn't have a 7% IPA, so let's try something else. And I love that they're all these breweries, are even the big ones, the small ones, they're all making them. So to your point, it should be fucking everywhere. I mean, and you want a good one.
To me, whoever hits that first, it's over. Like, they will be the Bud Light, of non-alcoholic beers, because it's wide open, man. I mean, right now, all you gotta do is stock it, and people will start getting it.
So you mentioned something about Applebee's I wasn't even sure about, and I wasn't planning on asking about this. Do you get like free meals now at Applebee's or anything? Did they give you a deal when you put that into the song? Or
bro, I was surprised. Have you not heard about my gold card?
Nobody told dude. It wasn't something that came up on my research. I apologize.
No, dude. It's honestly, I'm not a big achiever personality, but I have a gold card to Applebee's, so I have Applebee's for life.
That's a reason. That's sick. A reason to just to let go and to let the song come to you right there.
I know. I'm like, bro,
you're fed for life. That's amazing.
Exactly. I'm like, man, if we're living under a bridge, I can still feed the family at Applebee's. So let's go.
What a beautiful thing. I had no idea. That's so funny.
It's sick. It's literally it's a golden heavy. It feels good. Like, it's fun to drop it on the table. Hey, every time we go, I let a different kid slap it down, and
obviously when you go down to Applebee's, you guys don't have to play credit card roulette with your friends anymore. Everyone knows.
No. Some stores, they don't, like, some obscure random towns will be like, what is this? Because they don't know.
They've never seen it before, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, trust me, just scan it, it'll work. And but man, Applebee's, they the song really did. It sounds silly, but like, dude, that song helped families, that worked at Applebee's and executives. That I don't know if they knew what was going to happen, after COVID, and that just the whole walk-in restaurant business was struggling. And I didn't do it on purpose, but they have been just really grateful. I mean, I've seen grown men with tear-filled eyes shake our hand and be like, thank you, and so that's cool, man. As far as I'm concerned, they're family. And this, being in the music biz, you put brands in songs all the time, but they don't ever reach out. Props to Applebee's for going.
So they reached out to you?
I mean, we obviously tagged them and everything. We posted early on, but they were on board for using the song, which I know people will be like, obviously, but that's not how it most people have marketing teams that are very territorial, and they're like, no, we got it. But Applebee's jumped on board, and I think it's because the song just drove people to the rest. It kind of reminded people like, oh yeah, I remember Applebee, you know?
Yeah.
And
I've been
and
into
so,
many Applebee's on the road, especially back in those van days when we had a trailer in the back. And
heck yeah.
that was one of those times where it was like, it was next to that strip mall. You had a couple bucks to go see a movie. It was a day off. I mean, I remember these very, very vividly in my 20s. Like I was traveling in a van. It'd be one of our birthdays, and our tour manager and best friend Val at the time ends up being my singer's wife now. Had a credit card. None of us else had a credit card, and it was someone's birthday. Where are you going tonight? It's like, well, let's look at the strip mall we're next to. Oh, there's an Applebee's right there. Let's do it. You know.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's what Mobile was. I just call it a strip mall town. Mm-hmm. So it's funny. Most of my stories, or just my life, it's got like an Olive Garden, an Applebee's, a Smoothie King. You know, King. Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm going to admit one of the saddest things that will ever happen, and I know this will happen in my lifetime, but I'm gonna miss malls. Like I love the mall growing up, and
absolutely.
I don't shop online. I don't even know how. My wife does. She does it really, really well. But
I know exactly what you mean there. You got the boxes on the front porch every single day.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Totally. And honestly, I don't even know how to, like, if I ordered something online, I wouldn't even know how to plug in on my credit card. I don't even know how to do that.
It's beyond that, Walker. I'll tell you, man. They know for guys like you and me that we will never remember that credit card, and we'll just go
right.
out. So if it's already, they set it up like one or two times for you, and then they know it already. Like they don't
then you just
click.
Yeah,
it's just a click now.
Yeah, but it's insane. But yeah, I really will. Like I love a mall. I love the diversity of a mall. Like I love the seasonal decorations. Like I love arcades. You know, I miss record stores, just CDs. Like I would give anything if somebody would open a giant CD store, like with all the covers, you know, and just, you know, places to listen. And I don't know, man.
You got to come out to Amoeba Music. They got a couple out here in California. They still
do. They really?
Yeah. Amoeba Music. There's one in San Francisco. There's one out in LA. You're going to be out in LA.
Amoeba?
Yeah, Amoeba. You're going to be out in LA on your tour. I saw. So
yeah, we do the 7th. Greek. Right. Yeah.
So when you're out there for that, hit me up. We'll get each other's information. I'll tell you where
go.
To go. You got to do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
I know you got some more writing and stuff to do today, but there's a couple more things I wanted to get to if you got time before we go here.
Yeah.
You did touch upon the seasons of the malls and stuff. I love the decorating of, you know, Halloween. You got your song Halloween on Boom.
Yeah.
Obviously it had a different meaning, more about the proverbial mask that you wear, but
right.
You got 6 kids. You talked about the season just a minute ago. We're recording in October right now. I know Halloween's got to be somewhat a big deal for you in your house, right?
Yeah, we live in the burbs, bro. Like we ride dirty in the burbs, and it is. I'm telling you, man, Halloween is on the rise. Like it is growing. You know, I remember growing up.
Did it ever go away?
Halloween.
I must have not been in style, man. I'm Halloween all the time.
Are you all about it? No, I just remember where I grew up, Halloween was like, whatever, you know, trick or treat a little bit. Bro, 2 doors down from me, it's straight up haunted house. Like it's like 9-foot skeletons on both sides. It's like webbed out. It's got an electric chair that each kid can sit in and like gets buzzed, and there's like a wolf that I mean, they're going out now. I'm
gonna leave my shit up in November because I decorate pretty big around my house. I'm gonna leave it up in November. If you got a couple of days off around that show, come on down to the house.
Come over.
You can check out my shit.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, but you know, my kids, they won't shut up about costume. You know, it's every day. They change their mind.
Oh yeah.
It's, you know, and then one orders it and it's not as cool as they thought it was. And then, you know, one's is $5 more than someone else's, and this one gets mad. But dude, it's mayhem in my neighborhood. Like there's no way to not run out of candy. I mean, it's crazy at our house. And so and it's cool. My neighborhood really roots for me. Like they know my story, and they know, we had some hits. And so it's fun, man. Kids roll by, they're like, dude, I follow you on TikTok, and it's fun. I love it,
man. That's so cool. Yeah, you're describing a very similar thing I got going on in my neighborhood too. So that's really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's weird how that works out, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to talk about is just go back to music. Actually, there's probably about two or three more things I could talk to you about, but I know you got time. So, one of the things was your production in these on your albums and stuff is very hip hop R&B sounding.
Right?
It's the country, and I know those lines have been blurred for quite some time now, but I wanted to ask you how you approach the production of everything. I know you're doing all the writing and stuff, and as we talked about, there was the Shed before, so you were doing a lot of it yourself before. But I mean, I'm talking about all these low 808 hits, the low bass like in there. I think it was another song on Boom. You made a reference to a Nelly song in there, and obviously you got some influences in there. So why don't you talk to me a little bit about those blurred lines in country music now?
Yeah, man. So I grew up going to a private school. Mobile public school system wasn't so great growing up. Wasn't a lot of diversity in my school, but my best friends went to public schools, and that's just who I gravitated towards. And I played basketball, so it was all races, that I hung out with, and I mean, I just loved hip hop music, man. I mean, that's all I cared about growing up was like, I didn't care if it was Beastie Boys, Bone Thugs, Coolio, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Tupac. Like, what was crazy is I'm this white guy going to this private school, living in, cookie cutter homeland. And I just love Tupac. I was like, I love this guy, this dude, and his lyrics, and just, I must have listened to Tupac Changes 50,000 times one summer. And I just also gravitated towards any like alt music that had that hip hop sound, like those beats like Sublime, Sugar Ray, on the lighter side, but just like anything with that 90s hip hop sound, Waterfalls, Fugees.
Yes.
Dude, I was into Queen Latifah, man. I remember not 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you gonna be? Outside on the corner? Like,
wow.
I
remember waking up and watching those music videos on MTV all the time. Like that's
totally
in the 90s, man.
Yeah. And I just love that music. When I got all my friends, when they got their first truck, it was like, how high can they lift it, and like how much mud can they get on it? Bro, I was like, how many 12s can I fit in the back and not like break the window? I was obsessed with bass. And you know what's funny, man, is this guy named Joe Thibodeau. I just have 808 Warfare, and so that's what I use. And man, I have it. It's always clipping, and I'm like, I don't care. Do not turn it down. It sounds so dirty. And so yeah, man, that's what makes me move, and I'm not ashamed of it, man. I don't care. All these traditional people who are like, get 808 out of. I'm like, whatever, bro. Then, you like what you like, man. But I'm not gonna turn the 808 down or not put it in a song. It's literally my favorite instrument. I'd write a song to just an 808 if I should do that.
I was just gonna say, wow, don't hold back, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I'd love to hear it. I'm a big fan of all that too. And back to what we were talking about earlier on. Man, just do what you fucking want. Especially, you should do that anyway, anyone out there, but especially when you're talking about creating art. Like, why would we put parameters on each other for any of that?
Totally.
That's ridiculous.
Totally.
People are out there. If you like it, someone else is going to like it. That's one way of thinking about writing if you're an aspiring writer out there. If you truly love what you're writing, you're gonna find someone else out there who's gonna like it too. And you know, you got some great songs. I just realized as you were talking about though, the guy who produces this show and gets the guest on and stuff like that. Actually saw you here in my hometown in Huntington Beach. I don't know if you recall playing on the beach, one of the country festivals, beach things down there. And he was curious. He told me about, I don't know why I wasn't there because I usually go to like every fucking show here with him. But he was like, you did this really cool thing, obviously before you're on your own headlining tour, where you're introducing yourself to the crowd. So you played a song at the beginning, and then you played the rest of your set, and you told everyone, I'm going to play you a song you never heard before. And at the end of it, I'm going to play it again. By the end, when I play it the second time, you'll all be singing along.
Oh, that's funny.
And he said, sure enough, it was a song he had never heard before, and he was sitting there singing along.
He was sitting there singing it, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I love, I don't do a lot of covers, and not because I'm anti, any of those covers. I'm just kind of like, man, they did it, and they did it awesome, and I want to share. My favorite part is the writing part. And so when I'm writing a song, I'm always thinking live, how's this going to go over? Like, you never heard this before. Are you going to be like confused, or will there be a moment where you're like, oh, he's doing that again, And so, yeah, that was probably a song called Beautiful. Yeah, man, I mean, I love, I grew up just loving hits, and they were hits because, you heard them once and you were there, man. They flow. They just went down smooth, know? And so I try to do that for my listeners.
Man, well, you're doing a great job at it, because every time I hear some of these anthemic songs you got going on, it makes, it's hard to hear you say you've been sober for 7 years, because a lot of them just want to make me want to have a beer.
They want to drink, yeah. It's funny, man. I will never, I told myself I'm not going to be that guy that gets sober and doesn't write drinking songs. One, for two reasons. I'm an excellent drinker. I'm too good. And
you
then
you had to retire.
Totally. I did. And then two, man, it's just so human. I mean, everybody it don't matter if is it a drink? Maybe, but we all reaching for something, and so everybody can relate with a coping mechanism song.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I got to give one last shout out to Marissa, who helped put us together. Who also through Gina Kay, the housewife of Real Housewife of Orange County. We had her over at the house not too long ago. And she's amazing. Yeah, she was telling me how you guys met, and you were looking for a place to eat. Can you? I heard her side of the story. What was your side of the story the first time you met Gina?
Oh, she took us to this fancy restaurant, and it was on the water. And where were we? And was it Orange County?
Like, I think you were in Orange County. According to her, we seen her in Orange County.
Did she tell you about the girl upstairs, the lady in the second floor?
I don't know. I think she might have left that part out.
Dude, it's crazy. We're at this restaurant, and we're all sitting at this beautiful table just overlooking the beach, and I look up, and there's some like model on the second floor with her knockers pressed against the glass, and she's like having a photo shoot. And
at the restaurant, at the fancy restaurant?
Yeah. So me and the whole band were like, trying to only look this way, for a while. But man, we had a great time, and her and they're freaking awesome, man. We love them. And Travis,
big families there. Travis and you guys both have families of like 6 each. I think she's got 6 kids as well. I mean, there's probably a lot of kinship there.
Yeah, we love them.
That's awesome, man. Well, again, I want to thank you for the time. Let's keep in touch. If you're
Heck yeah,
that, I'll send Marissa my contact.
Yeah.
If you're here through LA, we could link up and everything, or even if it's at the beach again sometime.
Let's go, bro. Hey, good time talking to you. I appreciate it. All right.
I appreciate you too, man. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you, buddy.
And that's going to do it for this week on Drinks with Johnny. Thanks to Walker Hayes for being on the show. Thanks to you guys for watching. So much more we could get into with Walker. I mean, we just kind of went over the surface there. So maybe next time I talk to Walker, we'll get him on the phone, see if we could get a little bit deeper. But that was a lot of fun. Didn't know we were going to go into everything that we did there, but as we do, we follow along the conversation here. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, cheers.